right, everybody. We are going to start the panel of Self-Care is the Best Care. My name is Laura Armstrong. I'm a speech-language pathologist, but I also teach yoga. And I have some wonderful women here, and they are going to introduce themselves and what they do. And we'll open the floor up to some questions. And Renee will be joining us in a little bit.
So ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready for our next panel. We are planning to take lots of room between the panels, but we'd like to ask you to just join us in our seats so that we can begin the next panel. And so I don't have to turn the volume up one more time on the speaker.
Here we go. May begin?
Hi, my name is Kristen Dirks. I'm a family nursery practitioner and I specialize in medical aesthetics. I am the owner and operator of longevity aesthetics.
And my name is Jillian Anawati. I am a yoga teacher and owner and operator of Vibrant Life Wellbeing, which is a salt room and sauna and like small yoga studio.
And I'm Annie Hargis. I am a private practice Reiki master here in Rapid City.
At the beginning of our event, we had Miss South Dakota, which is Joelle Simpson. And for those of you that had missed her, her platform is nurturing nature. And so you can only imagine her whirlwind life of just being announced as Miss South Dakota and running for Miss America. So what a beautiful platform that she has, because her doing this platform helps ground her in this whirlwind that she is experiencing. And society tends to put a lot of expectations on us, not just as women, just people. And I think ourselves, we really raise the bar and we put these expectations sometimes that are a little unattainable or unachievable. So, you know, self-care is the best care. That could be anything, and that's why we have this diverse panel up here. Not everybody has to do yoga. We can do different things to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves so we can take care of our families and be optimal employees and involved citizens in our community. So I'll start with Kristen, and you tell me about like what you do and how this is the best care in your opinion.
Well, first and foremost, I know there's a lot of stigma with medical aesthetics. And when you come to my practice especially, this is something that I want you as a woman or man, whoever chooses to come here, this is for you. It's not for anyone else. It's feel good inside and out. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm going to give you honest opinions.
Hold the mic a little closer to your mouth.
Sorry.
It's harder to hear.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me better now? Sounds good. Do I need to repeat any of that?
Yeah.
So anyways, coming into medical aesthetics, I know there's a stigma with it, and when you come into my practice, I want you to feel good about yourself inside and out. I know that some people are anti-Botox and therefore, you know, they don't choose to ask about it, but you know, there's no reason not to. All it does is make the muscle go to sleep, and then there's other things I can do to help if you want it, but what I'm trying to get to was I only want you doing it for yourself, no one else. So when you come in, you get honest opinion, and hopefully you leave feeling better about yourself.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you. Jillian.
Well, so yoga is a path for connecting and like recalibrating to your center, and I feel like that's just super helpful in navigating life. And I've recently added a Himalayan salt room, and that's super sweet for kind of regulating the nervous system and decompressing and keeping your breath flowing good. I guess I don't really know why doing yoga is the best self-care, but it's one way of kind of dropping out of the noise of the world and reconnecting with your essential being in your body. And they were talking some earlier about clearing out the different things that the body's stored, and yoga can create a really safe place to process and integrate life's experiences.
And Annie?
When I say go to Jillian's, I've been there, it's amazing. So Reiki is becoming more prevalent in the Western world. Makao Usui was a man who was born in the late 1800s, and he did crossover in 1926. And so people, it used to be kind of underground and quiet and hush-hush. But now we're being more accepted into the hospitals and into the hospices. And it's helping your energies flow throughout your body. And we can talk about, the stigmas and the myths. I did want to mention the myths really quickly. Is anyone familiar with Reiki?
I think it would be good to just give a brief overview.
Perfect, yeah. So if you have any questions, we'll talk.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, so there are many of us here in Rapid City that are private practice Reiki masters or practitioners. There are several levels of Reiki, and they're a wonderful, safe place to go. It does work with the energy centers of the body. It's used with people who are pre-op, post-op. It works with emotional trauma, whether it's acute or long-term. It works with there's a lot of folks that chemotherapy, it'll work with that. It's a kind of a calming energy. There's so many modalities, there's so many opportunities that it does. It doesn't hurt anyone, and it can be used for just about anything.
So what are some of the myths?
Myths. I wrote these down because I'm not a great public speaker. So myth number 1 is Reiki is a religion. You ever heard that? Anyone heard that? That's a funny one. In reality, it's not. It's a holistic healing practice, and it is open to all. It doesn't matter what your belief system is. Myth number 2 is Reiki offers a cure, and it is not a cure. It doesn't guarantee any specific outcome. Myth 3 is Reiki isn't real. We get that a lot. It's like, oh, you're just waving your hands over someone. What does that do? But actually, Reiki does draw upon the proven energy principles, and it is very effective. And why? I like to say because science. That's why. Myth 4, Reiki is something scary and unknown. In reality, Reiki is a very gentle, non-invasive technique. Myth 5 is that Reiki practitioners use their own energy to heal you. If someone, I'm going to step out here, if they say they're a healer, run the other direction. That's ego. Reiki Reiki practitioners are a channel. We're basically like a hollow bamboo. The energy flows through us. It has nothing to do with us. We just agree to let it flow. And it is a channeled energy rather than coming directly from the person themselves. And finally, myth 6, Reiki can only be practiced in person. Reiki is actually a wonderful energy that can be sent through the distances as well. So it's very unique.
Jillian, how about some myths about yoga? I saw some similar things.
Also, not a religion. And it's not just about the body, right? It takes in the whole being, mind, body, and spirit, and it isn't necessarily vigorous. It can be, and you don't need to do it to make yourself better than you already are. It's more of a doing it to reconnect and remember what you already are and how you are connected to the whole and how we're all connected. That's a few myths.
I've heard people say, like, I can't touch my toes, I can't. People come in maybe thinking it's a competition. And it isn't. It's about self-care and doing what your body can do. When people say, oh, I can't do yoga, the first question I ask is, can you breathe? And if you can breathe, you can do yoga. Sorry to be heavy on the yoga. Please go and talk about myths with aesthetics.
Let's see, I know that they say it's only for the stars, it's not, it's for anyone. Let's see, you're not gonna be paralyzed if you do Botox. I think that the one thing I'd like people to take away is just that it's important for you to take care of yourself. How will you take care of yourself, whether it's inside and out? Because I don't only offer Botox. I'm heavy on Botox, everyone knows the name. But I have weight loss options. I have PRP for people that want to do something all natural.
What's PRP?
Okay. Platelet-rich plasma. So I can draw your blood, spin it down, put it back into your face, gives you a rejuvenated look without any of the fillers or Botox.
Excellent. What would you like people to know about Reiki?
It saved my life.
No? Well, welcome, Renee.
Thank you.
Discussion. What would you like to add to the discussion, Renee?
I just want to talk about the importance of giving yourself the gift of self-care. Just a little bit. I didn't do a lot of self-care up until I was diagnosed with kidney cancer in 2018. And I had a physical therapist, believe it or not, who said, you need to do yoga if you want to bounce back out of this. I had been doing Reiki for a few years, and I was never more than a phone call away from my mental therapist. And I started doing yoga. And then I probably only did 1 or 2 classes. And then I moved back home to the Black Hills in 2019. And I bought a house on the boulevard and met Jillian. And my mom died, Piper's great-grandma. And the last year of her life, she was skin and bones. She couldn't walk. She had no use of her left hand to speak of because of strokes and a hematoma from an accident. So she couldn't get on and off the toilet. She couldn't get up and out of a chair. She couldn't sit down in a chair. And I did not want to end up like my mom. I just wanted to be like my mom. So do you remember that day, Jillian? Do you have a microphone?
But I'm just not talking right now.
And so I went to Jillian and I said, I don't want to be in a nursing home when I get old. You don't want to either? So I started rescuing cats again, and that helped a lot.
Well, when you rescue others, it really rescues you.
It does.
And you don't have to only do yoga. We live in a beautiful area. Just getting outside and walking, it doesn't have to be that intensive run a marathon exercise. Every body is different, and you need to find what resounds with you and what will make you feel better. And it's not selfish. I want everyone here to understand by taking care of yourself, you're not being selfish. But it's hard to do because we have generous hearts. We care about our families, our community, our nation, our world. And if we don't take care of ourselves, how are we supposed to take care of all of those other things? So I am giving all of you and each of you permission to take care of yourself and do what feels good. Because when you feel good, you do good.
Speaking of doing things that make you feel good, we have a couple of runners up here on the stage. Lord, I'll tell you what. I was at a softball game about 2 weeks ago, and a foul ball, and I ran out to the back of the other field and got the ball and ran back and gave it to him, and I said, that's the most running I've done in 11 years. And it's probably the only running I will do for the next 11 years. But Jillian started running again.
Yes, I did.
How's it going?
It's I'm good. It's a run walk situation, not a fast thing, just, like, a lot of people like in the fitness industry, they're like, yeah, push harder, do better, make yourself like really work. And for me, it's like, no, it's a push. I'm off my couch. It's fine, right? Like, I'm not a fast runner.
Who do you run with?
My dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple friends.
You just got done being on the Humane Society board, right, Jillian?
Yes.
And Lori, you've...
And I stepped on.
Yep. And Annie, namaste Annie, thank you for introducing me to Corey.
Yes, yep.
Tell me about the work you do.
I was gonna say the running thing, I'm not gonna run unless something chases me. And if you're running next to me, I will probably trip you and I'm going to get you. The bear thing.
Right.
Just kidding, just kidding. Yeah, well, I am blessed to, many years ago, a Reiki master approached me and I didn't even know what Reiki was. And she said, it's time for you to learn this modality, this practice. And I'm like, okay. And I did it the old school way, so it was back in 2005. And where you would be attuned with this energy, you would study, you would practice for a few years before you saw anyone. You work on yourself, on your family, on your animals, and or your plants, whatever. Reiki goes, it's a wonderful...
Your house.
Your house, yes, yes, your house. Reiki goes everywhere. And then, as time went on, they reapproached the next level, reapproached for master level. So these days, Reiki you'll hear is, weekend. People go through 1, 2, and 3, they're different levels, and that's okay. We're in a different time and space where we need as many people attuned to Reiki, that energy, that healing, loving, healing energy than we ever had before, especially with all the shift and all the changes that have been coming since 2012, especially. But, I'm just honored when people are on my table. The Reiki is lovely because it flows through me as it goes to them. And it's an intuitive energy that goes where it needs to go in the body. There are traditional positions, starting kind of at the head and then moving down through the body. But again, it works. It really, I think it gives you probably one of the deepest senses of relaxation that you'll ever find.
I've often cried on your table. So anybody here done Reiki before, or practiced Reiki, or had Reiki partner? So Reiki isn't a hands-on thing.
It can be. It'd be a light touch. Usually it's a hover above the body. You're fully clothed. You're on a massage type table. And there are a lot of variety of different Reiki practitioners. So a lot of practitioners have other gifts that come along with them naturally, but the Reiki itself is a traditional set of positions that are held in different, over the body. But Reiki is literally just the energy that flows through. But you'll have other Reiki practitioners, including myself, that have a few other gifts of sight and understanding and listening from a deeper place.
So for me, I sought out Reiki because of my PTSD. When I was 3 years old was the first time I was molested. When I was 13 years old, it finally stopped. And I thought, I must have done something to make that happen. When I was 17, I was raped and I had an abortion. And I'm alive today. And so I was seeking out treatments, and my therapist recommended Reiki for me. And it was during Reiki sessions that I started healing. I went to a conference in Pierre a couple years back, and it was a mental health conference for women. And what was said on the stage, and it was the most important message that I got from that whole weekend, was, Renee, you are not responsible for what happened to you. It's not your fault. And it's not. But it is my responsibility to heal from my trauma. And we can do that through self-care.
And we all have traumas on some level, some worse than others, but it's not a competition. But by taking care of yourself, whether it's Reiki or aesthetics or yoga or going to a movie, even saying no to something, I don't feel like doing that. respect that. Respect yourself. Or she's like those kittens. 2 of you are going home with a cat. Or maybe one of you is going home with 2 cats. But that is self-care as well. Just holding that kitten, playing music, art. Each of you have something that makes you feel good. Cooking, baking, walking, fresh air. Does anybody want to share their story of what they do to feel good?
And take better care of myself. But music is medicine universally. People use it all the time. I'll bet you guys all use it in your therapies. Yeah?
Absolutely.
So yeah, just don't forget about music. Support music. Let your kids have that instrument. Take them to lessons. Music is healing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And come to concerts like this.
Well, and sound has a vibration, because we are a vibration, right? And so when our vibration gets distorted, or it gets depleted, or goes really low, this music it'll help raise vibration. And they're learning a lot more about, and it's coming out of the woodwork with sound therapy and sound frequency healing. It's really quite lovely. One of the things I like to do is say, no thank you. That's self-care for me. I think as women, we're yes people. We tend to say yes to just about everything, especially if you're hardworking and you're honest and you have integrity and you know you can get it done. You're going to get asked more to step up and do things. I know, shocker, right? But don't be afraid to ask yourself these 5 words. Does it feed my soul? Doesn't mean is it not going to be hard or is it not going to be a challenge, but does it feed your soul? If you're going to step into something and say yes, it has to benefit you first. It has to bless you first. And I think we always put ourselves last as women, and as men too. I know a lot of beautiful men, and it's like the power of no thank you. And that also kind of gives someone else the opportunity to step up, because maybe they were right there in the shadow all along. And if you're the yes girl, you're not allowing them to really step into that position too. So that was a wonderful lesson I learned from a Jewish gentleman whose folks were Polish Jews, and they met in the camps during the Holocaust. And I thought that was the strangest thing. And I never gave myself permission to say no thank you. So say no thank you.
Good advice. I would like to know your story. How did you get into this business model? I mean, right?
Yeah, so I was working in neurology as a nurse practitioner, and I saw the therapeutic benefits of Botox. So we would use Botox for migraines, spasticity, so forth. So there is a therapeutic portion to it. Well,
What made you jump from?
well, some of these people are looking darn good after getting Botox for migraines. And then I was actually approached by a salon, and they had asked, hey, do you want to come on and do this at our salon? And I was like, oh my God, I never thought about being a business owner.
Leap of faith.
So yeah, I took a lot of courses, and anyways, with the permission of my children, I decided to move forward and take this full time.
My face thanks you.
Jillian, how did you get into yoga?
Many years ago, I heard it was a great workout, and I talked to somebody that had gone to yoga and got some toning on her thighs, and I'm like, I'm gonna give this a try, and then it just spiraled from there, and yeah.
Now it's a part of your everyday life?
It's part of my life, yeah.
Tell us about the class you're going to start teaching, the Pilates.
So I also teach Pilates, and it's been a while since I taught Pilates, and I'm gonna start teaching Pilates again.
So, do you have to be real athletic to practice Pilates?
No.
Thank you. I may have jumped off the stage and not fallen on my you-know-what, but I'm not athletic. Yoga and Pilates, walking, even running, is for everyone. Right? So, thank you for being here. I think it's time to give away some door prizes. So Jillian, what is the door prize that you donated tonight?
I donated a $50 gift certificate, which, if you are interested in doing the Himalayan salt room and sauna,
It's awesome.
that would be an hour session. So.
And Kristen?
I am donating 20 units of Botox. That's a value of $200.
Right on. And Laura, what are you donating tonight? I'm kidding.
Myself. Hugs, lots of hugs.
So we're gonna take a break, but we're gonna draw for those prizes.
Survey.
And by the way, who scanned our QR code for our app? Raise your hand if you did it. And everybody who didn't do it, raise your hand. Why? I'm working. We're gonna take a break so you can go scan that.
Survey.
Pardon me? Oh, yes, and we have a survey that's very important to us. This is the second year that Liberty and Justice has done this event, and last year we held it at Western Dakota Technical Institute. We learned from that we wanted to have panels and conversations versus speakers. What do you think of it? Is it working? It was important to us that everyone in the room felt like they were a part of the conversation. So does anybody have anything they want to say? Yes.
Thank you all for all of your expertise and for taking the lead. And I'm not trying to be the bummer, but there's a lot of us who our priorities are maintaining a home a roof over our heads, making sure we can feed our kids, making sure we actually have a vehicle to go find a job. And I am speaking of directly my very own personal experience right now. Some of us have lost jobs. Some of us don't have the finances to be able to support your businesses. But I feel like maybe we're kind of in the place where we need the most self-care. So
Amen.
What do you suggest? What can you offer as far as, not your services, but just your advice on what can we do at home? And how can we do things that take care of ourselves, especially physically, because that's where I'm at now. My health in the past month has just gone to crap. Sorry. But I need to be stronger, and because I need to have work I have to do, you know. So please offer something.
Thank you so much for that question. What a fabulous question. So,
thank you for saying that. And that's actually something that I really wanted to point out in this discussion, but I got a little nervous and didn't. In my personal experience, the greatest benefit is simply sitting with yourself and tuning in, breathing, and feeling your body, right? Like taking the time to acknowledge your breath, find where your bones are. Even if you're just sitting in a chair, it's like, you know, all of your bones are levers to move your body. Just tune into your senses, and it sometimes takes a little while to like clear that path back to center, but the more times that you sit down and kind of notice, and it's like that still small voice, right? Like it's not necessarily the loudest until it turns into pain and turns into like issues that are harder to work through and around. But layer by layer by layer, the more that you simply show up for yourself, which is like tuning into what might actually be going on in your body, the clearer the path to that center, and your innate knowing gets for how to move from there. So ultimately, everything that you need is already in there. It's carving out a little bit of time and attention, and it can be 5 minutes of just breathing and feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to go on to that too. So first of all, as we're in this really cool human suit, right? We incarnate here, and you are a self-healing organism. You don't have to look outside of yourself. Healing partners, like some of us here, are good too, because when we align our energies or we join energies, we know energy flows even more rapidly or freely. But Simple practices, and people like, really that simple? Yes, this simple. Getting outside, standing in your bare feet, and really feeling Gaia, feeling the energy, because we live on this planet that is incredible, and she is constantly pulling the energies that we do not need from our bodies and offering us support that we do need, and we don't even know that it's happening. Sometimes it's so subtle. In your palms, you have healing energy. So we use our palms with Reiki. It's an attuned energy, but you have it, all of you do. Think about when you're, if you're holding a child, or if you bang your knee or something, you put your hand on there. People don't, we've lost that ancient wisdom, and so we like to, share that too. So placing your hand on whatever body part it is, and instructing it, and welcoming it to heal. Your water that you drink, you can hold that. Yes, please, and thank you are so powerful, yeah. Dr. Emoto, we have some amazing healing stuff coming out of Japan for since ancient times, but you can hold your water and tell that water what you need it to do as you take it into your body. And being truly physically present in your body. I like to, before I go to bed and when I wake up in the morning, I do what's called cord releasing. So we're energy, and we're also multi-dimensional beings, right? We're soul having a human experience. So I repeat a mantra: I lovingly release all energetic cords throughout all time, space, and dimension, and I call all my soul particles back to myself. I usually put my hand over my heart and also over my solar plexus, so down here, sacral chakra, solar plexus. This is really our true brain. So if you're doing those two positions, and breathe. And you can literally say, I bless myself with love. I bless myself with peace. I welcome calming energy. Whatever you need. And sometimes we don't even know what we need. And I welcome my highest good. So simple practices, stretching. If you want to get the body moving, you don't have to do any crazy, funky moves. Just stretching. Waking up in the morning, I squeeze every muscle I've got and I release it. And I do the same thing when I go to bed at night.
I've been squeezing a muscle ever since we came up here.
You need to go to the bathroom, darling.
I'd like to spin off on the
Yes,
water
please.
aspect.
Yes.
We have this beautiful creek that runs through our community. Last year, I took my shoes off, went in and just stood in that water. And it was purifying, it was peaceful, didn't cost me a dime, it just cost me my time. And I agree that we all have it within us. And I ask all of you to surround yourself with people that will help you and that will heal you, and find the things in this life that make us feel good. Because that's what we
For me, it costs me a little bit because I plant some seeds, but self-care for me is taking my shoes off when I garden. I believe it's called earthing.
Yeah, the microbiome, the dirt, is amazingly healing to us. We're not different from dirt. We are dirt. We're just, we're in different complexities of it. But, and I'd be willing to help you. We can write some stuff down today with you as well. I'll have the little handouts here for Reiki. And you can do a lot of research. Just be careful on the interwebs. But they'd be happy to do that with you.
And just because this discussion will stop because we have other panels coming up, please, let's, seek us out and talk to us, and we'll keep the conversation going even when we're off stage, because this is truly important to each and every one of us.
And I would say, even when I'm overwhelmed, my favorite thing is to go out in my backyard, take off my shoes, and just throw myself on the ground. And then just breathe. Like it's a 20-minute, 10-minute timeout where the world needs to stop spinning, and I just need to feel the air, feel the grass, and just connect. And then I also like doing sun salutations, which I am not a yogi anymore. I'm well out of shape. But, you don't have to be an athlete to do it. But could we show them some just basic movements of breath and like a downward dog? Anybody feeling flexible?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm certified in chair yoga, we're all sitting down.
Chair yoga? Anyone want to do a little chair yoga and feel the breath and actually feel what we're talking about?
All right, let's do
All right,
that.
well, let's just scoot so our feet are grounded, no matter where we're at. And I like the idea of putting your hand over your heart, over here. Close your eyes if you're comfortable. And let's just take some breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Again, deeper. Breathe it out. One more. Breathe in deeper, fuller. Fill the base of the lungs. And exhale. Open the eyes. Smile. Feel an inner smile. Take your hands, breathe them up. And let's go one way. Let's go up and over. Deep breath up. Exhale, come forward if you can. Breathe it all the way up. Hands in prayer. Exhale, come down to heart center. You all just did yoga.
I just
Laura,
want to
did you-
add real quick, when you do that, when you are in crisis, from 0 to 10, rate the distress you are feeling. Do exactly what she just taught you. Rate yourself again. That will show you the power of how this works, and if it's still too high, just that simple, do it again, lower it some more. You will feel more in charge and in control of your brain and of your body.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, and one thing, just to quickly wrap it up there, we just did a 3 deep breath meditation. People talk about meditation, you can sit and own for hours. 3 deep breaths is a full meditation. And if you want to count, you can, in through the nose for a count of 4, and then hold it for a count of 4, and then out through a count of 4. And scientifically, it'll actually lower your blood pressure, but also energetically, it gathers all the unnecessary energy in your body, and it releases it out your mouth, so when you don't need it any longer. And you can really push energy out that way.
And from experience, I can tell you it works a lot better if you've adopted a kitten. And it's just sitting in your lap. Laura, did you notice little Piper doing that yoga with us? Piper and Fiona have been practicing yoga with me at home a long time. When we get upset or we don't know how to understand our feelings, we do breath meditation. And we would finish it with, may the light in me be the light in you. And Piper was doing this at 2 years old, and I'd bow my head and she'd say, Mama, stay. So, in light of that, we have some door prizes. Piper, do you want to come draw some tickets?